students at Al Khwarizm High School, the Directorate of Marrakesh, the Regional Academy of Marrakesh Safi. Good morning, all second-year baccalaureate students across Morocco, their viewers and followers. Welcome to this new video from the second-year English program series. For the newcomers and the people who would like to receive my latest videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and at the same time try to click on the bell, to the notification bell, to receive my latest videos. If you do not opt for YouTube, you can also log in to my Facebook page to receive my latest videos and my previous one. We're going to move to a new grammar lesson, okay? A lesson from the second year English program, okay? And we're going to deal with a very important lesson which is entitled reported speech, okay? In some grammar books we can find another, if you want, name or title to this lesson, which is direct or indirect speech. We have direct or indirect speech. So before we start, talking about reporting statements, reporting questions, reporting different kinds of, if you want, sentences, we're going to explain and try to understand what do we mean by reported speech. What do we report? We say to report what? Speech. Speech is what we say, what we actually utter. What do we actually, if you want, declare and announce. So we report what another person, to report what another person said before now. So report something simply means to transmit what somebody says or said before now. That's what we mean by a report. We can simply say to report the news about maybe a special incident or a special event that happened before now. So as you can see, if you want to report, we have to pay attention to, some rules that I will try to explain in this video, okay? So the first rule that we are going to talk about before we start reporting any statements or sentences, let's have a look at these two sentences and try to compare them. The first one is, I work in a bank, John says. And number two, I work in a bank, John said. So where do you actually spot the difference? Can you show me the difference in these two sentences? Of course, this is it. This verb in the statement, in the first statement, is different from, the tense in the second statement. So the tense of the verb here in the first statement is completely different from the tense in the second statement. So here we have says and here we have said. What do we call this verb? The first thing we have to know is that this verb is called the reporting verb. The reporting what? Reporting verb. So we need to use a reporting verb in order to report what John says or what John said earlier or before. Let's start with the first one. We have, I work in a bank, John says. So it will be something like this. John says, and it is optional. It's not obligatory. John says to what? To include that. That here is not obligatory. John says that what? The I here normally transforms into another pronoun. So he was talking here. Who was speaking here? It was John. So John is the speaker. But who is speaking here? It's me or you. So we are trying to what? To report what John says. So we're going to what? To transform I into another what? Pronoun. What is it? So if I want to talk about John, what's the pronoun I will be using? It is John says that he. Because I'm talking about John. So John says that he, what? Works in a bank. Good. I will come back to this sentence. Let's transform the second one. The same thing. John, please remember, here we have says. What do we have here? Said. John said. That is not obligatory. That he. Here we have words. In this statement, we're going to use he worked. And I will explain why. In a bank. So what's the difference between reporting a statement in which the reporting verb is in the present simple and another statement in which the reporting verb is in the past? So here we have John says that he works. The verb normally here didn't change. We did not change the tense. We kept the same tense, present, present. That's the main difference. So if we have said in the past simple here, we're going to what? To notice a difference in the verb tense. Here it is the present simple, and here it becomes the past simple. So here we have present, present. But here we have present, past. Why is that? It's only because of this reporting verb. When we have the reporting verb in the present simple, we do not change the verb tense. We keep the same tense, but we change all the other pronouns, adverbs of time, adverbs of place. It's necessary. But we do not change the tense. We keep the tense. But if we have the reporting verb in the past simple, we actually change everything. So we backshift the tense from the present. We say to backshift. It means to, bring it a little bit earlier. Okay? So present, we bring it to the past. If we have present continuous, past continuous. If we have present perfect, past perfect. I will explain this in the coming, if you want, sections of the same lesson. So as you can see here, we should always pay attention to the reporting verb. The reporting verb should be either in the present simple and we keep the tense, or the past simple and we transform or we backshift the tense. Is that clear? That's the first thing that you have to bear in mind before we actually talk about the transformations that we make when we report a statement from one particular time, one particular place, to another particular time or particular place. So please try to focus on this, and I will try to explain other rules in the coming sections, or the coming, if you want, parts of the lesson. Let's continue with these statements. So we're going to explain the main, if you want, transformations that actually happen at the different statements that we actually report. So these are different, if you want, statements and different situations. Let's start with the first one. So, I went to the bank yesterday. I went to the bank yesterday. John said. So how do we report this sentence? So try to follow with me here. So we have John said. So I told you that that is optional. It's not obligatory. So we have that. You can either use it or drop it. It's up to you. John said that. So the I becomes what? Becomes he. That he, we have went. It's the past simple. So the past simple, if we report a past simple verb, then it becomes what? It becomes past perfect, because we actually backshift it. We report, or if you want, we bring the tense a little bit earlier, before the tense that we have here. So the past here becomes past perfect. So John said that he had gone to the bank. And as you can see here, we have yesterday. Yesterday is not, if we actually try to consider the time that we are actually, the time of speaking in the statement and the real time. Now, When we talk about yesterday, it's just the day before. So in order, to get out of this real time, we try to actually what? We try to backshift the day that we have here or the time that we have here. So yesterday, today is not yesterday in the sentence. So we try to actually use this expression here. John said that he had gone to the bank the day before. The day before what? The day before the day when John was speaking. That's why we use the day before. Okay? So John said that he had gone to the bank the day before. We can also use, if you want, the previous day. So if we use this expression, one of these expressions, the exact day is actually generalized. We do not actually specify what day was it. Okay, so it's the day before the day when John was saying this. So John said that he had gone to the bank the previous day or the day before. So in this sentence here, we try to actually learn and explain how do we report. Reporting statements. Any kind of or similar sentences. Affirmative or negative ones. Let's go to number 2, please. We have, will you go to the bank tomorrow? Mary asked. So what do we have here? Will you go to the bank tomorrow? Let's report it first. So Mary asked. So if you want to report a question like this one, this is a yes, no question. Yes, no what? Yes, no question. Mary asked, we always insert if. We try to insert it, we add it. Or whether. So Mary asked if, or Mary asked whether. Whether who? Whether, so she is what? Asking John. Mary asked if or whether John or he. Here we have will go. This is future. The future becomes what? Conditional. So if John would go to the bank, here we have tomorrow. So tomorrow is not specified. We do not know exactly what day is it. So tomorrow is replaced with the next or following day. So it becomes Mary asked if or whether. These are very essential, especially when you have, as I told you, yes, no questions. Mary asked whether John would go to the bank the next or the following day. That's it. We have another form of questions here. We have when will you go to the bank? Mary asked. So it's completely different from the previous one. Here we have yes, no questions. Here we have WH question. So we report it this way. Mary asked. We can also change the reporting verb if you want. It's not necessary. It's not obligatory to keep the same verb. We can use an equivalent, a synonym. For example, we can say, she inquired, or she wanted to know. If we use she asked here, or inquire, it's necessary to use when. So Mary asked when. So please pay attention here. We have will you. We have will, auxiliary, plus the subject. We try to inverse them. Okay? We have some kind of inversion. So Mary asked when John or he. Here we have will you go. Will becomes would. When John would go to the bank. Okay? So Mary asked when John would go to the bank. It's not correct to use would before the subject. To say, for example, Mary asked when would John go. It's false. Because we have, let's say, these, if you want, structures or these expressions at the beginning. We have Mary inquired, Mary wanted to know, Mary asked, plus what? WH word, or the WH question that we have here. So we invert the auxiliary and the subject. So this is how we actually change or if you want, transform the WH questions and the yes or no questions. The third category is this. Here we have go to the bank. So what type of sentences is it? It is normally an imperative. And we use imperatives to give what? To give orders. To actually ask someone to do or not to do something. So here we have go to the bank, Mary said. We can report it this way. Mary. So what is Mary doing here? Go to the bank. Do this. It's an order. So we can say Mary ordered who? Him. Ordered John to go to the bank. She ordered John to go. So this is how we transform this category, to go. If it's negative, don't go to the bank, Mary said. So it's the same thing. Mary, we can use said or told or ordered. You can also use told him, told John. We have don't go. It becomes not to go to. Not to go to the bank. So we have Mary ordered John not to go. It's not to not go. It's false. This is the usual mistake that we actually, that students or many students make. So Mary ordered John not to go to the bank. So what category do we have here? So this is how do we report commands. Like, if you want, imperatives. So this is all for now. As you can see, we have seen how we report statements, how do we report yes no questions, how do we report WH questions, how do we report commands if you want. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you so much for following me. I think I will try to give you, let's say, the different changes that we have. I will try to actually add them in the second video. And I will try to give them one specific title, okay? That's it. Have a nice time and see you in another video.